Today's podcast, I wanted to talk to you about choosing the right clairvoyant or healer or medium for you. Not every medium or clairvoyant is a perfect match for different people. Sometimes people have even rung me up and wanted me to read them, but I felt there was another reader. I'll often see if it was maybe it's a male or a young person, and I've actually guided them to that person because I knew that vibrationally how I read and what they wanted were not going to fit together. You might have gone to several readers or clairvoyants. Some of them you will feel very comfortable with, and everything they say you will feel resonates with you. Then you might have gone to somewhere, so it was really actually just a bunch of crap, really. And they could have been reading anyone, and it didn't touch you. And you'll walk out of those readings thinking, oh, I didn't really get anything out of that. It didn't feel authentic for me. You're not to feel bad if you come out feeling that way. It's all about the vibration, and if they're vibrating in a different space to you, the reading won't particularly gel. I know some of the young ones who are now in their 30s, 40s, of very high vibration, in the 20s even higher. So when they go to find a reader or a healer or a clairvoyant, they really need to find someone who's vibrating pretty much where they are. I had a young friend of mine, and he went to a reader and came out feeling unsatisfied. And I explained to him it was because he was actually vibrating higher than the reader. And this can actually happen. Some of the people who are older don't vibrate as high, I think. And the reason is because we weren't coming through these higher vibrations. So unless we work on ourselves and clear ourselves as a channel, we won't be able to amp up to the level that the people who are coming to us are. I've actually had the experience where someone was coming for reading or healing, and I was told by Spirit to bring my vibration up. For whatever reason, I was told I had to vibrate higher because the high vibration affects the lower. That's why you need, especially with healing, you need to be channeling through high vibration to knock out the low vibrations in the person you're working on. The other aspect of readers and healers is that you will have readers and healers and clairvoyants who come from love. Their reading will be truthful but kind. They won't try and scare you. You will be allowed to have free will, and there won't be any threats within it. You will feel nourished and nurtured by them and hopeful. Even if things are going to get a bit rough, the reading will actually encourage you to be strong and be courageous. It won't last, and you can get through it. This is the kind of reader I think, or clairvoyant, is a good one to go to, because you don't come out feeling bad, you actually come out feeling good. The other type of readers or clairvoyants come from ego, I believe, and that also come from power and control. I actually call them psychic bullies. You might have actually met them in your private life. You might have a few friends who are clairvoyant, and some are a little bit bullying, where they talk to you and tell you and are very negative, and you can feel that they don't make you feel better, they actually make you scared. They can also be very negative. People who are coming from that space can be particularly negative and try and scare you about disease or dying, or people around you dying, and they can actually get your heart rate up quite a bit, I think. I've met a few of them in my time. I tend to steer away from them because even though they are sometimes accurate, sometimes they're not accurate. And if they're not accurate about the big stuff, about someone dying close to you or telling you have some illness, they can actually cause a lot of fear in you. A friend of mine went to a reader who told her that she had all this trouble with her gallbladder and her kidneys weren't working and all these things, and she was quite young. The reader was wrong, actually, but the girl always now worried about those two areas. The readers can be wrong too. Things can be lost in translation. Remember, a reader or clairvoyant is downloading the information, then translating it. And just because you might think it's that way doesn't mean it actually is. So it all depends how good the translation is as well. I think it's good to go to a few different readers. It's comforting to go to the same one, but sometimes you just need someone in another aspect. And I'll often advise people who come to me to go to someone else, especially if the information I'm giving them is hard to take. For example, if they've been on their own for a long time and I'm seeing somebody coming, I'll encourage them to go and do a short read with someone else and see if they see that someone's coming too. And that gives validation. It's actually a good thing. It also keeps you as a reader or a clairvoyant less ego, that you're the only one who can get the answers. And the other part about getting a reading from somebody else is they will come and bring you new aspects, maybe of the same story, but they're standing in a different place, so they might be able to tell you more about the physical appearance of the person you'll meet, or some sort of work environment that the other reader got, that you were getting a new job, but this one gets more information around that. A medium is also a good place to go if you want to talk to somebody. Some readers and clairvoyants just have it as a natural part of their gift, but a medium will very easily be able to connect with someone on the other side, relay messages, and in a sense be the almost like the radio or the translator in between the two of you. There can be a lot of healing when people from the other side come over, and you can give a lot of closure to some bad situations on earth that now can be cleared up. Always trust your instinct, always trust it. I remember going towards, walking up towards the crystal shop, and everywhere we went, my husband, I'd drag him into all the crystal shops everywhere we went. He sort of got used to it. But I remember several times I walked right up to the door, got to the door, and then just said to him, I can't go in. The energy's not right, doesn't feel good. So always trust that, because they're just vibrating in a different space to you. And when you go in there, you will feel awkward or uncomfortable. Your gut always tells you, your feelings always tell you. At different times too, you might need different types of readers or healers or clairvoyants, just because you're in a different space to before. So be open to that. I encourage you to do your own healing on yourself by placing your hands, like raking on your hands where you want to go, or just doing healing where you send it to yourself, or put your arms out a little bit from your aura and let the light go in. I also encourage you to use your own cards. If you want to do cards for other people because you're practicing, don't do cards with people who are going to make fun of you or make you doubt yourself. And when you read, always read from where you feel, not what you think, but how it feels. And don't be definitive. You're giving the reading as it is today, and if people make different choices next week, well, that will actually change the reading. The reading isn't set in concrete. There are some things I believe that will be, because they've been written, so they are set in place. But because of free will down here, the reading will be also, it's how the free will runs for the other person. For example, if I see someone and I say, you know, if you don't want to be in this relationship, you can leave, because I see another person, and then I go blah, 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 blah about the person. If that person comes back to me that I've read 5 years later and they haven't moved on and they're still with the same person, that doesn't mean the reading wasn't valid. It just means the reading wasn't enacted. The person chose to stay where they are. It's not really right or wrong. It has a lot to do with free will. When you do your own cards, it can be quite fascinating. I still do my own cards. I'll just get my deck and pull out 3 or 4 and read them. They can often tell you what spirit are trying to tell you as well. And choose the cards that resonate with you. Some people love the tarot, other people like the angel cards, and you have to choose, or medicine cards. My husband used to do medicine cards. They're rather beautiful. So choose the cards that really fit with you. I have a few different packs, so you can have different ones for different occasions if you want to. The cards are quite a good visual, and people will remember if you use cards. They'll remember, oh, I got that card, or I remember this card, and you might remember too. If you start getting a repeat card, that's often something to really take note of. So you might get the same card, even though you shuffle the pack, you keep getting the same card, and that's spirit just trying to tell you. When you read, try to read from love and care and compassion. Be careful if you read for somebody, like one of your friends, not to scare them. If you think there's something to say it very carefully, because when people come for readings, they're quite vulnerable because the aura is open for the read. So you can actually almost injure them if you're not careful. I call it the kind, gentle read. You can probably read, I think, if you were listening to this podcast. I think you have the gift, and you might have done the tea leaves in other lives, or thrown the sticks, or done the scrying where you look into the water, or the crystal balls, or you might have done the palm. If you're drawn to something, you've probably done it before, and it's kind of good for you to relearn it, to remember how to do it again, because the readings can actually give a lot of direction and guidance and comfort to other people, as well as being a loving gesture from a spirit. I hope you have lots of good things this week. We're in Australia here, so we've got spring and everything's blossoming. I don't know where you are, but I hope the weather's nice for you and you're enjoying it. Love and light to you.